Hello and welcome everybody. Today is a new day and we are going to start with a fresh topic. I will not call it a fresh topic because we have already done one class of this. I know why the caged bird sings. As you can see over here, we are doing this and it is the part 2 of the class. And if you haven't followed, please check it. These are the MCQs that we have already completed. Today we are doing the second part of it, and in it we have the subjective questions, right? Subjective questions. This class, as also we will be discussing the national education policy, what they wanted to include in your exam, and that is already decided. So you may see around 10 marks, as Jerry Rathun has said, with the around 10 marks question you will get from these national education policy. So I'm sorry, not national education policy, the discussion on that, what kind of questions is suitable for you and what you are going to get, what are the fresh topics, fresh type of questions that can be included, right? So we will discuss those also so that you are completely exam ready, as we call it. So before we start, those who are interested, you can check the description box for this link. This is a complete course book, ICSE English language for classes 9 and 10. This is a very good book, and as I have also purchased it and follow it, Oswald Publishers. Phrasal verbs, it provides a lot of kind of detailed questions in the table format, and with the examples also, with the meanings also. This will be very handy and will help you in scoring good marks, because we are always very, we shy away from phrasal verbs, right? So this has a complete series on it. And of course there are other things also, whatever you have in 9 and 10 ICSE topics like comprehension, composition, letters, notice, email, formats, and your grammar portions, all the other transformation and everything. You can of course use this book, and the link is given in the description box. If you're interested, you can of course purchase it. So let's come back to our topic, and these are the questions that we are going to discuss today. Okay, so we will see one question at a time and we will try to answer them correctly, and to the point answer we will try to give. See, I have not given the extract because it is unnecessary. Let's just come to the topic and we know what is there over there. So what are the difficult questions that can be given to you to write for 3 marks or 4 marks, that we have to discuss. So we are not using the wasting time in that reference to context extract reading. We will directly come to the question. Question number 1. How does the free bird's experience of flying contrast with the caged bird's experience? That means, what is the difference between the experience of the two types of birds, the free bird and the caged bird? So what can be the answer of it? The amount of freedom that they enjoy, and the amount of freedom, the amount of plight or problem that the caged bird has to deal. The free bird experiences flying is portrayed as one of the boundless freedom, kind of. There is no end to the freedom that it enjoys and joy. The bird leaps on the back of the wind. Now you can of course quote some points so that it supports your answer more. Okay, it enjoys the beauty of nature. It can enjoy the pleasures of the open sky. And then again, if you are contrasting it with the caged birds, we see that it is frustrated, it cannot move freely, its feet is tied, doubly deprived, feet is tied, wings are clipped. Okay, and it can just sing, and that also does not reach properly to everybody. It's like singing to the distant hill, right? So, and stark contrast highlights the freedom that is enjoyed by the free birds and the immense amount of captivity that the caged bird has to deal. Okay. Next question. Discuss the significance of the caged bird singing in the poem. What emotions does it convey? Discuss the significance of the caged bird singing in the poem. Okay, what is the significance? When it sings, what does it tell you? So the caged bird singings hold a lot of significance in the poem. What kind of significance? Despite its captivity, it is interested to sing so that people can know about their problems, the things that they face. Okay, and it is a means of expression and resistance. Important points, you write it down. Means of expression and resistance, right? The song conveys a lot of emotions that of longing, of desire, that I too want to be free. Try to understand, if your feet was tied and your wings were clipped, how would you have felt? If you would have been kept in the room and I would give you biryani daily, would you like it? Of course not, right? So hope defines everything, that even if you try to put me inside the cage, I will try whichever way possible to earn the freedom back. Okay, by singing, whichever way. So defines. Caged bird's trill expresses its desire, yearning, okay, for freedom, that is singing, the only way to ask for freedom, okay. And although it is being tried to be silenced because of various circumstances, okay. And this highlights the power of art and self-expression even in the face of adversity. Even when you are facing so many problems, even if it is adverse, conditions are not favorable, you keep on trying hard to achieve it. So this is what caged bird singing is trying to show in the poem. All difficult questions we are doing today, simple questions we will avoid because that you can answer. Okay, what does the free bird search for? You can easily write that those are fat worms. Okay, so it is not, and you will find such questions already done in my channel. Next, third question, what is the symbolic meaning of the phrase bars of rage in relation to the caged bird? So bars of rage, bars means the bars. If you are there in the prison cell has these iron bars, no? So those are bars. And rage means anger. So what can you write for this? The phrase bars of rage, it symbolizes the intense frustration, anger, okay, felt by the caged bird, that inside the cage you feel frustrated, you feel disgusted. Even after class 12, your mother is not allowing you to move out of the house, even in the evenings. So you'll feel frustrated that I am just put inside the house like it's a cage, okay. So extremely angry. The bars of the cage are not physically does not just physically confine the bird, but it also represents the extreme kind of restrictions, like external force that restricts it physically, mentally, psychologically, every possible way it is restricted, okay. So the rage of the bird implies that the bird's extreme desire to be free, but it cannot be free. Only then you are angry, na? Maybe you want to kill me, but you cannot kill me. That is the time when you are angry, extremely angry. So this phrase, the bars of rage, it encapsulates the bird's emotions, deep emotions, highlights the idea or how a person would feel if he is confined, if he is oppressed. Alright, that's enough for 4 mark maximum. How does the poem explore the themes of freedom and captivity? Provide examples from the text. See, this question is quite similar to the all other questions. The first 3, you can write the 4th one. But I have still added this because I wanted you to see this. Provide examples from the text. You have to write with close reference to the text, which is very important. How will you write? The poem explores the theme of freedom and captivity through the contrasting images. Once the free bird, then the caged bird. So the free bird is able to claim the sky. So you are quoting, claim the sky. So it is very important that you quote over. If you do not quote, you will lose marks. Claim the sky. It symbolizes freedom, how much of extreme freedom it exercises. But on the other side, we see the caged bird. It also highlights how that caged bird is restricted, nightmare, scream, bars of rage. All these quotes you can add for this answer, right? So it serves an example to show that one is confined and the other exercises extreme amount of freedom, just the opposite. So the contrasting images, it's like I'm wearing a black t-shirt and maybe the lower that I'm wearing is white. So that is extreme contrast. But what I'm wearing is brown. So that is not that contrasting. So what he's trying to show is the poetess wants to show that if there is stark contrast, the person will realize the problems that the caged bird faces regularly. Okay. Next, number 5. What is the significance of the caged bird's song being heard on the distant hill? When it is being said that song can be heard in the distant hill, this we have even done in the MCQs. So if you have followed the last class, you can write it. The caged bird song is being heard on the distant hill. What does it mean? It is significant of this that it is trying to reach beyond its possibility, beyond its confines, that I am kept over here, I cannot move. So when I cannot move, when kinesthetically I am restricted, so it is better. Kinesthetically matlab muscular, you move your muscles and move around. If that is not possible, you try other ways. You try to sing so that your poems, so that your song can reach far and wide and people come to know your plight. Okay, if people do not know, who will protest for you, right? So this emphasizes the idea that they still have that hope, they still are resilient, they still are defiant of the situation, that although you try to put us in adverse conditions, we will fight back. Okay. So number 6, the last question, and we have more. This is just the normal questions, then we will move to the new types of questions that will come this year. How does the poem use metaphors and symbolism to convey its central ideas? Metaphors, extended metaphor, you have now the whole idea of the poem of caged bird and free bird. The bird is itself a metaphor of those of people, and caged bird here is talking about the restricted African Americans who do not have their rights, okay, basic rights, and where women are doubly deprived. And on the other hand, we have the free bird, which talks about the Americans who have enormous amount of freedom, who can even he even exaggerates, okay, that hyperbole he uses to show that they can claim the sky. That means they can do anything and everything, but we don't even have our basic rights. So metaphors, symbols, all these are used. So you can use as many possible, personification, all that, shadow shouts, these also you can use. We have done all the 5 questions from here. I believe if you think that it is slightly difficult, just revisit the video again and again and write them down so that it helps you, benefits you in the exam. So next we will move to and don't forget to write to me what are the next, what are the chapters that you want next. Okay, so I have all the questions ready. Whatever you want, we can discuss in the class. Value based question. First we will discuss what is this. Okay, national education policy. According to your education policies, the syllabus is set, the question papers are set, okay, what will be, how many midterm exams will be held, everything is decided, okay, on the basis of that. So this time, this 2020 education policy suggests that we should have more value based question, meaning like just reading the story will no longer help you, just preparing, just revising, just rote memorizing the answers will not help you. What will help you is understand why you are being taught this topic, why suddenly you have what do you have over here, Merchant of Venice, why Merchant of Venice is there in your syllabus, what values you learn from there, okay, try to think critically why it is there, what you would do in such a situation. These are the important portions that from where questions are going to come this time in your exam. At least 10 marks, it is already decided. So possibly 10 marks question you are going to get, not whole 10 marks and one question, not like that. Maybe they will be divided into parts, maybe 3 mark karke you will get, 1 4 mark you will get, okay. So we will 9 to 10 marks question you are going to get from here. So we will not leave this on time, so we will first prepare what kind of answer we can write. See, now these answers will be different for each of you, so you will try it on your own, but I'll just help you with kind of a what I think in this situation, okay. Your answer can differ. Answer the following questions with close reference to the poem. How can a sense of, now what is the only thing that you need to take care of, that when you are writing the answer you should be careful that it is logical. If it is not logical, illogically you are writing, then you will not get marks. How can a sense of hope and longing for something better propel individuals to pursue change and improvement in their lives? So hope and longing, if you have no hope, okay, imagine you don't want to get a job, you don't want to do anything, you just want to marry somebody and stay with him and be fed by him only. If this is the scenario, then there is no hope at all. Or maybe then the hope is just to marry, okay, and to die someday. When you have a hope, you think that you should work for that, okay, you will try hard, you will prepare for the exams, or every one of you has a hope, right? Every one of you want to pass the exam, so you prepare, so you study well. So other than that, over here in this situation where the African Americans do not have their freedom, what is the how can this sense of hope and longing, because they just hope that they may get a better life in future, maybe इनके लाइफ टाइम में नहीं मिलेगा, बाद में मिल सकता है. Even in that case they are working. Nelson Mandela, many of them who were working with Nelson Mandela died. Later on, Nelson Mandela was a very old fellow when he finally got that kind of situation where African Americans were accepted equally, right? That apartheid was removed. So here what we are going to write in the poem, The Caged Bird, the caged bird's persistent singing still wants, still hopes, still resilient, still defiant of the situation. कितना भी difficult situation हो, however much adverse the situation or circumstance is, I will keep fighting, I will strive for change, okay, because I still have that hope that possibly someday I will improve, I will get a better life, I will have a better futures, at least my children will have better futures. So हमको करना है कुछ so that our next generation would live a better life. So this is a kind of motivation. Hope is a kind of motivation that you have to work for it, for a better life. All right. So I believe you can write it. Discuss the responsibility of those who experience freedom to advocate for those who are caged in various ways. Imagine you are free. Imagine like this in your situation, that you may have a lot of freedom. You may be allowed, if you are a boy, you will see that you are allowed to move around, go out with your friends, but your sister is not being allowed to do that. So you can, you are the one who should take this responsibility, that no, we are equal. What is the difference between me and my sister? There is no difference. So in that case, this is an inclusive situation. We need to work for each other, fight for our betterment. So when when your sister is trying to speak out, speak up that I also want to go, at least in the morning, please allow me to go. I will take care of my safety. Maybe she has taken a karate course already. She is a black belt. So she can even give that as a reason, that I take care of those things, that I am safe outside. Okay, so I can go out then. Then you should also support that person. Okay, you should not let ki acha chalo ye to mere bare mein hai hi nahi, why should I even think about it? So don't think that you are not a part of it. Always think, as a human being, it is important to support the weak, or the the people who have always been deprived. Have to support that person always. So that is your responsibility. So I have given you an idea of how to write. The responsibility of yours is what then? To support the ones who have been deprived forever. You don't write you, so that we should never think that we are not a part of it, so we should not play anything. We should not speak up for them. Okay? As an inclusive environment, we should all speak for the other, for whoever who is deprived. If you think that is not the right thing to do. Okay? So we have to speak up against injustices. Imagine our freedom fighters. अगर वो लोग सोचते कि we don't want to do anything. Okay, it is not just our country. So in that case, we would have still been under the British rule, right? So we have to speak up for a better world, because this world is everybody's world. So for a better world, to live a better life, we all need to be happy. So for that happiness, we all need to speak up against injustices. So that is all for the second answer. I believe you have found this kind of question very interesting, right? Value-based question. Just basic idea you need to have, and you can frame this answer. But logically, you have to frame it. So that is all. In the next class, again, we will continue with the other value-based questions that can come from here, the other normal questions, subjective questions that can come from here, so that we have no problem while we sit for the exam. That is all. I hope you like the session, and if you want more such questions, do write in the chat, in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video with your friends, so that just like this last question, we all have to help each other for a better world, right? Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in my next class.